There's a lot of expectation by your clients, by the work that you do, and sort of the outcomes of television that are different. So, first of all, let's talk about what expectations are and how they've changed.
So there is definitely not a one-size-fits-all by any means. I think every client has a little bit of a different expectation of how they define performance. At A+E Networks, we call our attribution offering performance, because at the end of the day it is, right? Every client has a different expectation and a different need, a different KPI. So no matter what that KPI is and no matter what that expectation is of our client, we want to be able to say, okay, how do we make the most? How do we then pivot to then determine what vendor to use to then be able to then provide that client back the best offering from an attribution perspective, and then for us, how we guarantee against it. So whether it's foot traffic into store locations or website visitation, we're able to then pivot and then say, okay, we're going to guarantee and take that leap and move away from traditional demos.
So tell us a little bit about the scope of vendors and what kind of vendors are appealing and how you match those up.
Sure. So it depends on what portion of the funnel you're actually focusing on. There are some clients that, from a measurement perspective, they're focused more on upper funnel. I personally don't love to really call the performance funnel a funnel, because I like to actually look at it as like an infinity sign. You're closing the loop of one portion of a client's need and then entering into another. So whether it's brand favorability and looking at more of like a Millward Brown company that is actually able to then measure more of awareness and brand favorability, or you're looking at more of a lower funnel or center of the infinity sign, which looks more of like Data Plus Math or iSpot, where they're able to actually able to measure against foot traffic or website visitations. That's how we really determine what the client's KPI is and then what avenue we go down with what vendor.
So tell us about some of the new categories that are coming in. We hear a lot about direct-to-consumer. They have a lot of expectations that are different. Tell us sort of the learnings maybe from direct-to-consumer, some of these digital natives and coming to television and how you're working with them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that for D2C clients, it's very interesting because a lot of D2C clients have their own tools and they have their own proof of measurement. The interesting thing about working with them is that we have our own tools and we have our own way to measure particular categories like D2C, right? So we work with these D2C clients to say, okay, you share a little peek under the hood of what you're seeing. We can then share back with you what we're seeing. How do we blend those two together to come back with the picture perfect solution on the front end, not just on the back end? So we marry those two together, particularly within the D2C category. And a lot of what were traditional DR clients that are within that D2C category, we then have been moving a lot over to national buying. And we see that there is such a need to be able to get down to the program level like we do at A+E Networks. And it's not just broad day part anymore, it's more show specific and what can work really hard for each show against what their target is.
And I wanted to ask you, we spoke to your colleague, Mark Garner, about syndication. Very exciting,
Yes.
Very big opportunity. What about performance cross-platform? You have so much content all over the place.
Yep.
How do you solve that?
So we know that the need for cross-platform optimization is there. I think that we all know, and we'd be fooling ourselves if we said that there was a picture-perfect solution in the market right now. I think that everybody is trying to get there. We're not there yet. But what we do is we know that our library has such demand across the board. I mean, you look at some of the platforms that A+E Networks partners with, and we're number one or number two with some of the shows that we had in our library. So for us, it's very important to make sure that we're strategically placing each client and matching that up with the right show, that it is that perfect match, and we're not just randomly selecting where the show is going to go. We don't hold any inventory back. We make sure that it's all strategically placed across the entire portfolio. The same audience is not viewing TV the same way that they are on our other platforms. So it's very important to make sure that we are optimizing against that different audience that's viewing on other platforms and then watching the audience that's watching across just our linear arm. We blend those two together, and that's how we get back to our cross-platform optimization.